what's going on, everybody? This is John Jake Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Youngstown Dynasty here on College Hoops 2K8. But that's not the only game that we're going to be using. We got a really great episode on tap for you guys here today. We are not only going to play a couple of basketball games here, but we're going to take a little peek into the football offseason and get ourselves geared up for baseball season as well in this AD Dynasty, since that is around the corner. So for the very first time, all football, baseball, and basketball are going to be featured in this episode. It's going to be a great one. So make sure you go ahead, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button too if you happen to be brand new to the channel, by the way. And let's take a look at our first home conference matchup of this series. We will be taking on the University of Illinois Chicago. They have a decent record, to say the least. They are currently 5-6 as of right now, but they have not won a single game yet in Horizon Conference play. We, on the other hand, are undefeated. We're 1-0 in the Horizon League, but we are also 3-5 overall, so we have a decent record. We're pretty even between us and Illinois Chicago, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this game plays out. But with that being said, that is enough talking from me. I'll see you guys at the basketball hardwood to see if we can get this episode on the right foot. So with that being said, let's go ahead and tip things off here, and we are officially underway, as the University of Illinois Chicago does end up winning the tip-off, and we almost get the steal off rip, but they will end up recovering as we get settled in. And that's the key thing, man. If we can get some defensive stops and run the other way, we can be putting ourselves in a good spot. But Illinois Chicago is going to get the first points on the board, and we'll take an early 2-0 lead, but we'll respond in kindly with our very best player, Birdie Footlock, getting the response that we need as Seymour throws it down with absolute authority. Let's go, man. You'll love to see it, and we may not be the most entertaining team, but when we do play in gameplay, we are certainly exciting to watch, man, so I definitely like that. I think the biggest thing for us, though, and I probably said it quite a few times as already, we just got to get bigger, man. Birdie Footlock's our biggest player. When we don't have him on the floor, we definitely have a height deficiency, and that sometimes show on the defensive end. So I think if we can get some quality centers in, I think we could really do something special, because we have the core guys in place. Like Chris Ty, for example, pulls up for free, doesn't get it, but you know who does get it though? Birdie Footlock, who's going to fight for that offensive rebound and is going to lay it right back up. And that's one thing I love about Birdie Footlock. He is aggressive when he's out there on the floor. An 8-6 lead could be 10-6 once Caden Doman lays it. Oh! He smokes the dunk. Wow, but we turn the ball over. Here comes Chris Ty, looking for a place to go. No, but does get the shooting foul, but I can't believe it, man. Caden Doman, we gotta talk about that real quick. I can't believe this man smoked an open dunk, man. That's insane. But still a 4-point lead despite all that. Make that a 6-point lead thanks to a Chris Ty layup, and that will actually force the Flames of Illinois Chicago to take a timeout. But to the grin of us, it doesn't really affect us very much at all. As Shafino, he's gonna do a pullback or a little step back put away and gets that to go in. So 14-6 lead. Ongridge looking to get it inside to Leadbutter, who glazed it up, but it's no good. Actually leaves it short, as here comes Shafino the other way. Bang! Shonen gets posterized and gets called for the foul. That's tough. You absolutely hate to see it. So a 17-8 lead. We are looking good early in front of our home faithful, as Caden smokes another dunk, but at least he draws a foul this time around. Got to work on that with Caden Doman a little bit. Got to work on his dunking or something, man. Like, he has the athleticism to really be a phenomenal player, but still is a raw talent to that regard. As Bradshaw is going to dribble it and get it into Salkis on the inside. Looking for some space to work. Gets it back to Bradshaw. Bradshaw lays it up, and it's going to be good. And it took a while for the Flames to accomplish this, but they are actually now in double figures. We have been absolutely cutthroat on the defensive end. As speaking of cutthroat, there's another steal for Chris Ty. Pulling up for free. Bang! 22-10 lead. As Illinois Chicago got to go ahead and call yet another timeout, as anything that could go wrong right now is going wrong, as Doman actually makes a transition bucket. Hallelujah. He missed the first couple of dunks, but I guess the third time is the charm. I guess he needed just a little bit to get the legs warmed up. But we cannot simply forget the defensive presence that we have shown on this side of the floor, as Illinois Chicago has simply had no answers on offense as of yet, as we try to see a three-pointer being taken, but it's no good. Birdie Footlaw gets the rebound, gets it up to Chris Ty, who backs it out briefly, gets it out to Seymour, and Seymour throws it down with a 40. Another slam jam, as that almost was a turnover, but thankfully for us, though, we are able to at least prevent the turnover and, turn that into a bucket. So you love to see as we got a deep three here, and that goes in. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than it is to be good, because that was a deep three right there, and he's not even our best three-point shooter either. That's the crazy part, as we continue to beleaguer the Flames of Illinois Chicago, as they actually do something good here. Bradshaw getting his first steal of the game, gets it out, but we get the ball right back. Jordan Andrews steals it. He's trying to go coast to coast, finds Cohen, and Cohen will go ahead and get the finger roll to go. And a 40-16 lead here for our guys, as we are trying to close out this first half with some authority, as Ramsdell going to go ahead and throw it up, and that's going to be good. First points of the day for Ramsdell, as we just continue to do our thing, man. I mean, what is there left to be said, as Parker will move the ball around a little bit. Jordan Andrews gets some space, and he will lay it up as well. The first points of the day for Jordan Andrews, as Marshall looking to attack, but gets blocked. Jordan Andrews gets the rebound. Here he comes. The 5'8" speed demon lays it up, and it's going to be good. And speed absolutely kills. You say it in baseball, you can do it in basketball too, man. Especially in the right place in the right time. Speaking of speed, how about Parker able to slice his way into the paint? And it helps when we're having one of our best offensive performances of the year. Shooting 55% from the field. UIC only shooting 42%. And so that's what's really helped build this incredibly large lead right now, as a 25-point lead. Could have easily been 28. Cam Jones did try to freep there, but actually airballed it, so that's a little bit of a cringe moment right there. We might need to go ahead and slander Cam Jones in the comments section for that airball. In good sport, of course, as USC trying to make things a little bit more interesting. 21-point lead. This might get it under 20 points, as Ramsdell tries to do a spin move, but dribbles it off his knee, and Shafino gets it and throws it down the other way. And just a ton of dunks, ton of easy opportunities for Youngstown State, as the basketball team moving on all cylinders, as Cohen throws it down there as well. And how about that kind of bucket? Transition us out of the first half. We got an insanely large lead. We're going to be up 50-26 after one half of play. But I'll be interested to see if they try to make things a little bit more interesting here in that second half, as we got a big lead to work with, so don't really have a lot of our starters out there right now. Some of our depth pieces getting a little bit more time on the floor than what we normally would see when games would be a little bit more competitive, as Shafino will be called for the defensive foul, his first foul of the game, as Marshall also looking to attack. He'll lay it up and get it back in. But despite what USC's doing, man, they're still down by 20 plus. Definitely a blowout on our hands here, but got to give the Flames some credit, even though they actually have one of the worst records in the Horizon League. They ain't quitting anytime soon, man. You know, they got some fight in them. You know, definitely making us pay for mistakes. And we got to realize, too, we also got things that we do need to work on. But 21-point lead here. Cam Jones gets it at the wing. Going to dribble the ball around a little bit. And actually find some space to move. And he's going to be able to lay it up with ease, as it keeps the lead up to 20, as Orrod will lay it up. And that's going to be good. 8 points for him. And USC chipping at this lead a little bit there. And who knows, maybe things get a little bit interesting here, as USC, they have come out really hot here in this first half. But they're going to need a lot of that and a lot of stops as well if they want to touch us here. As Parker gets it inside to Cam Jones, who stops for a little 5 to 10 foot jumper and gets that one to go in despite the size disadvantage. So definitely really nice concentration by Cam Jones, as our international player Sasovic lays it up. He's actually going to get it in there. I didn't know if that was going to actually roll in for us or not, but I will certainly take that. No hesitation. As a 64 to 42 lead here, as Sanovic gets it out to Cohen on the wing. Looking to attack, but it gets stripped from behind. And here comes Salakis. Gets it out to Shelton, and Shelton is going to draw the and one. 21-point game, UIC trying to rally. Sheldon gets it out to Uride. Ride the Bradshaw into the paint, but then Birdie Footlock is there for the steal. And here comes Birdie attacking the other way, throwing an absolute dagger there. And listen, man, that was the story of the game. We end up taking care of business with ease. So, that being said, I'll see you guys at the end of this, man. So, needless to say, we ended up cruising to an easy victory, as even though we simulated to the end, we still ended up winning by a final score of 79 to 64. Did a pretty good job shooting from the field, 42% from the field overall. Still need to do a little bit better with threes, 5 for 21 there, 8 for 13 from the free throw line. But, you know, overall, really liked what I saw, especially on the defensive end. Once we got a certain lead, we just kind of stopped playing our starters. But speaking of our starters, we did a really good job with our starters this time around. 4 guys in double digits. Doman, Chris Ty, and Brian Footlock ended up with double-digit points. But our leading scorer actually comes from the bench, though, as Shafino ends up with nearly a double-double as our 6th man. 12 points, 9 rebounds, 3 steals to go with it as well. And we also saw some contributions from our bench. Actually, everybody did end up scoring in this one, so great way to start off Horizon League Conference play now that we are starting to get into the thick of things within our own conference. But before we do jump into the second basketball game of this episode, I want to at least take a look to see how our team did from a statistical standpoint on the gridiron, because we did have a pretty solid first season. I mean, finishing 7-6, we got a bowl game appearance, we finished above 500 in a Power 5 conference, and most importantly, we are going to become a 2-star school. So I really do love all that stuff that we got going on for us. And yeah, let's go ahead and check out real quick, see how our guys did throughout the year. Chris Ty obviously got that starting quarterback job, ended up throwing for 2,700 yards, 21 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I would love to see that completion percentage in the 60s, as well as see this man also cut his interceptions down. But we also did throw a lot of picks in our user matchups early in the season, while we still are trying to figure out how to play the game a little bit. We do also see Apex Florals get a little bit of run as well. He ended up throwing 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions in his first and only season. We're going to be playing with him as a Youngstown State player. Now, the real vocal point of his offense this season was Adam Hayden, and he ended up with 1,268 yards and 13 touchdowns on the year, and that was good enough to see him get first team honors within the Big Ten Conference. He was a real vocal point for us. We also saw Kevin Hollins get a little bit of run. He ended up with 222 yards over the course of the year, but the only other person that got touchdowns this year was Chris Ty. He did end up with 4 rushing touchdowns, despite the fact that he did not even have positive yardage in terms of running with the football. And then for the receivers, we did not see any receivers with 1,000 yards, but I do want to point out, if John Langford actually did get a chance to play in the bowl game, he might have done so. He did end up with 922 yards and 8 touchdowns. And then Ty James ended up with 840 yards, 8 touchdowns to go with it. So 2 guys with 8 touchdowns this year. Cam Jones also stepped in with 4 touchdown grabs on the year with 472 yards catching. That's 3rd on the team. And then 4th place on the team was David Brown, who only had 1 touchdown catch on the season, but I believe I was in the bowl game. Tried our best to kind of give ourselves a little bit better of a shot moving forward. And the good news is we will have at least many of our key receivers coming back next season, as long as they don't enter the transfer portal, of course. Other guys to also get into the end zone this year: Charles Hansbrough, Scott Thomas, Kelvin Hollins, and yeah, those were all the guys that got into the end zone through the air. Offensive line, the offensive line, it was all right. It felt like when we were in gameplay that we were giving up a lot of sacks, and it's nice that we do have a couple of we did sign a 4-star offensive lineman that I do feel really good about, but that is something that I do want to improve. Even though we did have 2 guys that were like first team at left tackle and right guard on the offensive line. And then, of course, defensively, we saw David Silva lead the team in tackles this year. He ended up with 83 total tackles, followed by Caden Doman in his senior campaign. In addition, we saw Silva lead the team in TFLs. He ended up with 18 TFLs, Doman with 12, and then Sean Barnes, a junior defensive end, also had double-digit TFLs. However, we didn't really have any elite pass rushers on this team this year. The leading sack getter for us was Caden Doman, but he only ended up with 4 sacks. Nobody else was really sacking him all that much, and that was like a bigger problem for our defense. We didn't force really a ton of turnovers. I think over the course of this year, Craig Franklin's an exception. He did have multiple interceptions, and we did force some fumbles. Don't get me wrong, we did a good job forcing fumbles, but we could have certainly done a better job of forcing some turnovers, and that's more so we got to get better on the back end. I think our front 7 is fine, but signing that 4-star defensive tackle already is going to really help us as we progress through this dynasty. But I want to see if we can go ahead and get ourselves to 2-0 in this episode, as this is indeed a basketball doubleheader. And you're going to also want to stick around until the end of this video. After this game, we will have the preview of the baseball squad as well. So definitely going to want to tune in for that, as I'm hoping our guys can figure out how to get a rebound, because apparently that is a really difficult thing to ask. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. We do finally get our first basket of the game, though. A 5-2 deficit that we still going up against, as early on, the other Illinois team that we went up, Loyola, that also happens to be located in Chicago. So we have UIC for the Flames, and then we also have Loyola in Illinois, which also happens to be in Chicago. So 2 Chicago teams in the Horizon League. Definitely a interesting development, to say the least. But again, Loyola's been really on fire so far, and we actually got to take a timeout ourselves, because we're down 11-2 already. I've had no answer for the offensive onslaught of Illinois, Chicago, or not. Yeah, Loyola. It's a lot of Illinois teams, man. It's just a lot of a tongue twister for sure. as Seymour will drive it up and will get the layup to go in. So that will help bring the lead down slightly, but got to find a way to stop this Loyola team, as you got to get some good possessions together. Seymour lays it up, and that's going to be good. Assist by Chris Ty. His first assist of the game. So a 5-point deficit. Could be a 3-point deficit. Doman lays it up, and it's going to be good. 3-point game. And that timeout certainly helping us here to at least get us back into the swing of things a little bit. As Craven looks to attack, gets it out to Holman. Holman with the turnaround jumper, and that's going to go in as well. So Loyola does stretch it back out to an 8-point lead, as Moody got some space to work with, gets the Briggs on the in the paint, has a huge height advantage over Cam Jones, and no help ever came. We got to talk about that for a second. Got to do a much better job of attacking the paint, because we can't have things like that happen to us. As now, here comes Loyola. Gonna get it into the paint, finds Moody. Moody with the short jumper and gets that to go in. And now they double us up here. We are down 24-12. Could be 26-12 unless the guy in jumper doesn't go. It doesn't, but somehow getting the offensive rebound, gets it back out to the perimeter. Inside, Wininski looking for a man to throw it to, finds Sargent. As Sargent has an open lane, and it's no good. But Birdie Footlock gets called for his second foul, so that means he has to go to the bench for a little bit. At least that's what Anthony Kirby wants to go ahead and do, as this team continues to be on fire, shooting close to 60% from the field. Haven't really had much of an answer thus far, as even when we do force stops, it seems like they're always getting some sort of rebound. You know, the defense and the rebound just, it ain't it, Chief. And you're like, you know it's bad when you're out of points of emphasis already, right? Like, it's not looking good here, as Loyola really open up a can that they opened up on us here, as they somehow get their hands on the own ball, and Riley just wide butt naked open there on the inside. So a 38-16 game. Tried to get it in there, but look at this. Caden Doman steals the ball. Nice heads-up play. Just kind of being a little bit lackadaisical in transition. So we're able to turn that into 2 points. We need more of that, and we need some more defense as well. Craven, turnaround jumper. That's going to be good. And a 40-18 lead here. It's been a blowout for us this time. Not doing well playing on someone else's home floor, as Sanovich does at least draw a couple of free throws. He will actually make both of them. But still down by 21 as Craven gets on the block, looking for his shot, and gets it over Birdie Footlock. And we are down big at the half. We are down by 23 already. So let's see if we can make this more of a game here in the second half, as Bush will get it inside to Wininski. As Wininski, he's going to try to turn around jumper. It's no good. Got the stop that we're looking for. As now, here comes Youngstown. Birdie Footlock with the layup, and is going to get that one to go. And I think that's a big reason why we're down as much as we are. We only have 4 points from our best player. I think we're going to need some more production if we want to go ahead and win this game. Chris Ty can certainly help as well. Bang! What a rim-rattling slam dunk. As I believe I saw that rim kind of shudder a little bit. I'm all for it, though. And we do cut it down to within 20 points. We get the steal. Could make things interesting. Seymour gets it out to Chris Ty. Ty attacking the paint and gets the bucket to go. And the foul as well. Will get himself an and one opportunity, and he sinks it. But this Loyola team has been some problems, as they are keeping us at a huge arm's length, trying to respond with some transition buckets, but doesn't matter if we can't get anything going on defense. As there we go. Oh, never mind. We messed that up pretty good. Oh, one of those days where it's just not going your way sometimes. As we're just struggling to really keep up with Loyola. They've been on fire all day today, and our offense really has not been that bad whatsoever. I mean, we got a nice transition bucket here. I believe this is Chris Ty that had the bucket. But even then, down by 19, and the guy in left wide open, and it's been a lot of threes being shot here, man. Down by 22. So if things don't get much better here, I will sim to the end, because right now we are having a hard time kind of staying in contact. As Briggs will go out to the right-hand side, gets it to Nagayan. Nagayan to Holman, and gonna get the and one as Cam Jones gets called for the foul, and he didn't even stop the bucket from happening. So, I mean, like, what are we really trying to do here, right? So, 63-38 lead. Caden Doman gonna dribble it into Parker. Vince Parker with the lay-in and gets that one to go in. And that's been the story, man. Getting those twos, but just not really playing too many buckets together. As another bucket for Caden Doman does end up getting laid up, and it is going to be good. So now, 66-42. Riley looking for a rally. Gets it out the bush for the three-pointer. No good, but another offensive rebound. You literally cannot make this up right now. That is absolutely insane. And how about Cam Jones with the steal? Trying to go the other way. No good. But Parker gets the offensive rebound and will be able to go ahead and lay it in. At least we're showing some fight here in this second half. We're not cutting into the deficit as much as I want to, but we're showing a lot more fight here in this second half than what we really showed in that first half. What caused this deficit in the first place, as Cam Jones will get himself yet another layup as well. But ultimately, the deficit just becoming too much. And, you know, I don't know if we're going to be able to cut it into single digits. Cohen at least trying to help a little bit. But yeah, despite that, we're going to sim to the end, and I'll let you know what the score is. But yeah, man, a very subpar defensive effort is going to really dig us in. We tried, you know, we kept up with Loyola in the second half, but I mean, we had such a deficit in that first half that we just couldn't do much of anything, right? I mean, they were really stroking it from deep as well. 8 for 18. That does not help the cause whatsoever. This was a tough one, man. This was a really tough game for sure. Especially losing a game like this in the Horizon. 20 points lost never feel good, man. I'll tell you what. And it was one of those games where we didn't even have a single player in double digits. We had a couple that were close. Chris Ty ended up with 9 points. Caden Doman had 8 points. Birdie Footlock ended up with 8 points as well. Couple of guys with 7 points. Cam Jones, Henry McCade. Jordan Andrews didn't do anything when he was in the game. How many minutes? Well, he had 4 minutes. I guess that explains quite a bit. But yeah, this was just a really difficult performance. And it's just been a pretty difficult month here for the basketball program. I'll explain when we get to the main screen. So this was really our first month where we had like a ton of basketball games, and I mean, we took a lot of losses in the Horizon League. I mean, we got some wins here or there. We did beat Illinois Chicago, which y'all saw, but like when we got into simulation, we were not very successful in simulation. Probably like a 3-5. Did get some wins against Detroit, but we lost to teams like, we lost to Milwaukee really bad. Lost to Wright State by 10. Valpo was a crushing loss. Butler was a blowout. Blown out again by Milwaukee, and then you saw the blowout by Loyola. We do respond with a 49-35 victory over Illinois Chicago. But safe to say, we are currently under 500 right now in the Horizon League. We got a competitive record. We're 5-12 in conference, but we are towards the bottom of the conference. We are third to last right now with a 7-12 overall record. So we had a strong start. We definitely had that going for us. But going into this final month, or at least the final full month of the season, not looking good, man. We could be doing a little bit better. But that being said, we are getting into the month of February, which means we're getting close to baseball season. So we'll see what's cracking with them over on the baseball side of things. So like I said, this does take us into the baseball portion of this dynasty as we get our first look at the baseball program. And just like our football and basketball teams, man, it's going to be a long way up. We don't even have a full star prestige. We actually have half a star. And the roster itself is not that talented. D+ pitching, D batting, a D defense. Our biggest strength is speed, and even then that's not that great. Only a C- speed total. There is no Horizon League in MVP Baseball 07, so we had to join the Miami Valley Conference. And not to mention, Youngstown State was actually not originally in the game, so I did have to create them. That's why you see this iceberg instead of the Youngstown Penguins logo. Now we will go ahead and take a look around and meet some of the players that are on this team. And one of the things that we do need to take care of right off the bat is that we need to make sure that we are going about getting some infielders on our team. I mean, we only have 4 infielders total, so we're definitely light there. We're going to be definitely going after some infielders. And then I also want to make sure that we get at least 1 outfielder this upcoming season. So that's really kind of my plan for in terms of recruiting. Other than that, though, it looks like a lot of our starters, though, at least are not seniors, right? So we got a chance to go ahead and, build this team up a little bit. We'll start in center field, though. We got Jake Wakefield, 79 overall, one of the best players that we have on this team. And he's got some good plate discipline. I definitely like that. 80 plate discipline. And also has some really good speed as well. He is certainly a speedster, only in his freshman campaign as well. So, he's only going to continue to build and grind off of that. Moving over to left field, we will have Big B starting for the team. He's a 70 overall. Other players to look at for this team is actually our designated hitter, Matt Chamberlain. He's actually the best player that we have on this team. He's a 93 overall, you guys. That is absolutely insane. Has great power, particularly first right-handed pitching. He's definitely a right-handed killer. I'm surprised that, well, I guess he always asks for batting, so it is what it is. And the second best player that we do have is Chad Kimbrell. He's an 80 overall, and he does bat on the right-hand side. Other players to watch out include shortstop Tim Bennell. He's going to hold things down there for the shortstop position. Then our best pitcher, he's going to be our day 1 starter, Kevin Broffel. He is our number 1 pitcher. We also have Terrence Moore, who will be our best reliever, probably somebody that will be closing this upcoming season. Jonathan Patajon is going to be our second starting pitcher. And what I like about him, he does have higher stamina. He's just not as talented, so he is going to be our second pitcher, but he can potentially go the distance, though. And then to round out the starters, we do also have Charles Bacchio. He does have 69 stamina, which is, of course, very nice, if you ask me. And then to round out the notable players, we have John Wilson out of the bullpen. And then we got Reed Bigby, who I was talking about as well. He is going to be coming out of left field. To wrap things up, looking at some of the custom prospects that are on this team. Apex Florals is here. You might know him as the backup quarterback. Well, he is also going to be playing some college baseball as well. He is going to be, in that bullpen. Probably we'll see him a little bit more often here in the baseball portion of the dynasty than over in football. And then the other custom recruit that we do have is John Langford. Now, John Langford, he is technically he is a walk-on, right? He is a walk-on third baseman. better at the bat, better in football than he is in baseball, but he's going to be our starting third baseman this upcoming season. He has some decent durability and, has some decent attributes in terms of his throwing strength and accuracy. The fielding leaves a little bit more to be desired though, but he is what we have at third base. So obviously, from what you saw from our depth chart as well as looking at our roster generally, our biggest priority is really to get some more infielders into the program. We only have 4 total infielders, so if one of our guys do end up getting hurt or suspended, because I actually don't remember off the top of my head if suspensions happen in MVP Baseball 07, we don't really have anyone to play them. So gotta really work, hopefully, the high school route. But the challenge for us, though, is that we didn't even have any interested prospects in us. That's how down bad that we were. So we are starting from scratch from various players. However, that being said, I am looking at some players. I'm looking at, Jason Braun, for example. He's a 65 overall and is from Pennsylvania. So we'll have that. He's technically our highest overall player. We're also looking at Jeff Fouts, a third baseman hailing from the state of Ohio. He's an in-state prospect, has excellent attitude, but he does not have the best academics, so he may or may not struggle with staying on the field because of his GPA, but he is an in-state product that I wanted to bring home. Looking over at the JUCO route, we're going to look at Randall Cameron. He's a second baseman, but could also be a little bit of a utility player as well. Even though he'll only have a couple years of eligibility, he does have excellent attitude. He's got good academics as well to go with it. And who knows, maybe he'll be, a nice veteran presence at second base. Could push for that starting job next season. Over in center field, we're looking at Brian Walker. He could play the other outfield positions if we do need to move him. He doesn't have any special needs. And he does hail from the state of Kentucky, so he's also kind of close to home. And that's really the theme here. We are going after guys mainly in the Midwest. We are not going to venture too far from the state of Ohio unless I absolutely have to. And then speaking of the state of Ohio, we are looking at Mark Hancock as well. He's a first baseman, good attitude, but not so good academics. And what I do like, he does have solid contact numbers. The fielding does leave a little bit more to be desired, but a left-handed batter can work out really well in our favor, to take on any left-handed pitching. So that could be, really good for our lineup for the future. But these are the players that I'm going to be going after. Now, the man that we do end up putting in charge of the baseball program is actually going to be O'Shawn Jackson. And actually is a Bluffton alumni from Little Bluffton, Ohio. Actually played really well at the Division III level and had a chance to get drafted into the MLB, but a torn meniscus injury his senior season did end up derailing those dreams. And now getting his first head coaching opportunity at the Division I level, leading one of the lesser teams in baseball, at least at the collegiate level, in the Youngstown Penguins. So next episode, what I am going to go ahead and do is we're going to have opening day, man. We got a test on opening day as well. We are going to be taking on the Ole Miss Rebels, who are entering this season in the top 25. They're a preseason number 20 team in the nation. So it's going to be a big test for us. We'll see how we stack up compared to some of the better programs in America. But it should be a good one. So if you're excited for the next episode as well, I do need you guys to go ahead and do me a favor. Smash that like button and then also hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new. In the meantime, though, this is John J Gaming on the mic signing off. But I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.